Welcome back to the battle camp. Thank you for clicking on this video. If it's your first time, please hit the subscribe button. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. So I've been a little bit busy over the last few days, and a few things have happened that I wanted to react to and talk about, but I just didn't get the opportunity because things in real life got in the way. One of the things that I thought about and I didn't necessarily want to make a video about, and I wasn't going to make a video about, was Tunde Ajayi talking about how Anthony Yarde is the A-side. At the time, I just thought, well, that's just Tunde being Tunde, using his own metric system, his own system to explain why Anthony Yarde is the A side. One of the things that he said was Yarde fighting Kovalev would be able to, or he thinks that they can fill out the Emirates Stadium, which is a stadium of the best football club known to mankind, the Arsenal. It holds 60,000 people. If you add to that floor seats on the actual pitch, let's say that's between, I don't know, another 1 and 5,000. Let's just say a maximum of 65,000 people. He reckons he can get into that stadium to watch Yarde fight Kovalev. So he's come to that conclusion despite the fact that Yarde's never filled out an arena on a show that he's headlined. What I mean by that is there's never been a show that Frank Warren has built saying Anthony Yarde against, you know, an opponent, and that this is the main event for the O2. This is the main event for Wembley Arena. This is the main event for Manchester or Liverpool Echo Arena. Does that make sense? Like, you've never had a show like that because Yarde's never fought anyone of note. So he's got no actual legitimate evidence to tell us that Yarde has the pull or the drawing power to fill out these, you know, to fill out O2, let alone the Emirates. The other metric that he uses is the fact that Anthony Yarde is a quote unquote global ambassador for Adidas. Now, you could be the best mathematician in the world. You could be fucking Albert Einstein, but you can't write an equation that gets you from Anthony Yarde being a global ambassador for Adidas to him being the A-side in a fight against Kovalev. There's no equation that fits that criteria because those two things don't fucking add up. It doesn't make sense. So all of you guys know this, right? So he chooses to ignore the fact that Kovalev's the actual champion. He's been fighting at the world level since he won the belt off Cleverly in 2013, 2014, something like that. So he's been operating at world level for the last 4 or 5 years. Let's ignore all of that because Tunde Ajayi does. Let's ignore the fact that Kovalev fights in the States because of the TV deal and the broadcast money that he gets, and they're probably going to be able to generate more revenue off the back of that. And the venues that he fights in, if you compare it with the money that you'll get from BT if it goes on pay-per-view and the Emirates Stadium over here, just because Anthony Yarde isn't at that level yet. He isn't a household name. He isn't a big star on the domestic scene because he hasn't fought anyone that we can say, oh, that was a good fight and he beat a good competitor there. He's a real deal. As a boxer, it's important to fight people that are good because it gives you an understanding of how good the winner of that fight is, if that makes sense. So let's ignore all of that because Anthony Yarde is a global ambassador for Adidas. The reason why I'm making this video is because I watched Tunde Ajayi in an interview with the Boxing Voice, and this is the straw that broke the camel's back. Tunde Ajayi said, so you know when you hear a philosopher say something so profound, it hits you and it's like, fuck me, like it confuses you at the same time. It's like, wait, what, hold on, wait, like, do you know what I'm getting at? Like, what I'm trying to say here, like a philosopher says something so beautifully profound and you think, fuck me, and you can ponder on it for fucking hours and it makes all the sense in the world and it makes no sense at the same time. Imagine someone saying something. So, imagine someone having having the same effect on you in the completely the opposite way, where you're fucking confused at how stupid something is that someone said. Like, how did you get to that conclusion? And the thing that he said was this. He said, if Kovalev's team win the purse bid for the fight against Anthony Yarde, if they don't hold the fight in London or in England, in the UK, they're the ones who are ducking. Let me say that again. So if Kovalev wins the purse bid for a fight, where the governing body have already told us that Kovalev is the A side, so he deserves a bigger split. If his side win the purse bid, and they tell their broadcast partners in America, oh guys, by the way, we're not having the fight in the States, we're having it in the UK. Because if we don't, Tunde Ajayi says we're ducking. You know that meme of the black guy with a white t-shirt and he's got the most confused fucking look on his face and there's 2 question marks either side of him? I'll put a picture up of it actually as I'm explaining it. Like, that was my face when I heard Tunde Ajayi say that. That was around the time when I decided to turn it off. Like, fuck it. I can't watch the rest of this interview on the Boxing Voice. Because when you say shit like that, you fucking lose my interest. You're ducking the fight if you don't have it in my home stadium, even though you've won the purse bids. Oh, like for the longest time, I felt like Tunde Ajayi, although he talks shit, there might be some credence to this plan that he's got. There might be. There just might be. And I believe in Anthony Yarde as a fighter. And I believe in his confidence is real. I've made videos about this previously, and you can check them out. I believe Anthony Yarde has a lot of confidence in his own ability, and I believe in combat sports that takes you a long way. But fuck me, just by the way Tunde Ajayi is behaving and putting these barriers up, and already making excuses as to why, or giving us reasons why this fight might not happen, it just leads me to believe that Tunde Ajayi doesn't want this fight. And it leads me to believe, as Yarde's manager and trainer, he probably gets a decent percentage of the money that is made with Anthony Yarde's fights. He's just happy to keep milking that cow. Keep milking it and keep collecting his checks at the end of every fight camp and every fight that Yarde has, when he knocks out a nobody and then on to the next one. The more and more I hear Tunde Ajayi speak, the less and less I think that they ever wanted to fight Kovalev, and the less and less I have faith that this fight is going to actually happen. And I spoke about Anthony Yarde's confidence and his self-belief previously, and if it's genuine, if it's genuine and I'm right in my evaluation of Yarde as a fighter, I think it's time for Yarde to step up. Managers manage your career, trainers train you, but at the end of the day, you do have a say in your own career. And if you guys are going to find a way to not fight Kovalev, you need to step up and actually fight someone of note now. And I think Yarde should be pushing for that. Timing is everything, and now's the fucking time. Because if you duck this fight with Kovalev, and then you go back to fighting a no-name, just because he's ranked somewhere in one of the fucking rankings for one of the governing bodies, that's it. You've literally lost. You've lost any kind of interest or any kind of support you might have gained from actual hardcore people that watch boxing and know boxing. Let me know what you guys think. Put your comments below. Also, who do you think do you think this fight with Kovalev is going to happen? If you don't, who do you think he will fight? It'll probably just be fucking no one, like someone like his last opponent, Reeves or whatever his name was, someone that I hadn't heard of before. And we'll just get that for another couple of years. Feel free to share this with a friend. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Look, I've been talking now about fucking Tunde Ajayi for nearly 10 minutes. And if you're still listening and watching and you've got a YouTube account and you haven't hit subscribe, I've managed to keep your attention for 10 minutes about fucking Tunde Ajayi. Imagine when I talk about something that actually matters. Do you know what I mean? Give me some fucking credit here. Hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys next time.